Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the practice log. Oh my god, it's so hot in my apartment right now, even though I have my AC thing running. Well, you know what, I'll talk about it in the chair. Let me bring you to the chair. Oh my god, it's so hot. Well, some updates with my life. The AC in my apartment's been out for like 6 days, so that kind of sucks. Thankfully, I have that portable AC unit, but man, it's starting to not do anything, because I think this whole apartment building is just becoming like an oven, just absorbing the energy from the sun, and it's just kind of holding it. My AC unit is like fighting to keep this room cool. Right now it's 79 degrees, a little toasty. I've kind of had my computers off this whole time, but it's nighttime now, so, you know, I'm turning everything back on. I'm going to try to film and practice and all that. I don't know if my hair will dry. I'm probably just going to be sweating. Yeah, so, you know, that sucks. But other than that, things are all right. I think the two things that I'm going to work on tonight, the Barrios and then Morel Sonatina Movement 2, mainly focusing on memory for that. I'll probably start with the Barrios, though. I want to put in some considerable work into that. By the way, it is Saturday night. I could be partying right now. I was invited to a party. I'm not going, though, because I'm going to practice. Be inspired by that. What else we got? Hey, t-shirts, go buy them. Lessons, I give them. Lessons in guitar, let me be specific, sorry. Yeah, speaking of lessons, I actually kind of want to take this time, because as you guys have been, like, watching, my thumb has been injured for a while. But recently, through various technique changes, I managed to rehab my thumb while never actually stopping playing the guitar. Admittedly, I have been playing slightly less. I've been a little less focused recently. Still practicing a lot, of course, but, like, not as much as usual. Not as much as I was 4 months ago. So that probably helped with the rehabilitation as well. But still consistently practicing like quite a bit each week. I was able to heal my thumb. There are a few things that I kind of just want to talk about. So I might make my way to the piano bench and just go ahead and start things off and talk about it there, and then I'll get to practicing. So yeah, that sounds pretty good. I'll see you in the piano bench. Speaking of thumb injuries, I just went to tune my guitar and I have a little like hot spot in my back right now. Wonder what caused that. All right, we'll talk about that one later, but right now it's all about the thumb. There are two main points I want to talk about with the thumb. One, the actual positioning of it and how you should be holding it, and how I was holding it, how I'm holding it now, and also what your thumb is actually doing while you're playing, which you won't be able to see any of it right now, of course, because my guitar is blocked. You can't see the thumb. That's the tricky thing with it, right? How do you know what to do? You can't see it. I'm going to move you to the side before I start talking about this, so let me go ahead and do that, actually. Let's talk about positioning first. Pretty much for my entire guitar career, I've been holding my thumb like this, which, you know, my thumb kind of naturally does that. Like, I can bend it sort of like that, so it makes sense for me to press on it, and, like, that's how I just press. You know, not much thought has gone into that. I don't even want to do that very hard because I feel like I can injure myself again. But, you know, over the years, I've been finding that I kind of rely on a lot of force from my thumb, and I end up playing like this. I'm not warm right now. And basically, the positioning change that I've been making, kind of thinking about it like this, like I'm sort of matching what my fingers are doing. My thumb is like this, hyperextended, which if you try hyperextending, do this back at home, you'll notice that right here, it's like hard, because that tendon is like taut, you know? But relaxing it, it's a bit softer, which I think that's probably how it should be. If you look at how you're holding your fingers, none of your fingers are hyperextended like that when you're playing. That's just not a part of it. So I think if you had to choose between this versus that, I think this is better. Now, you can argue with me that this is a little bit too bent, like I'm going to put pressure on that knuckle there, but really the stuff I'm going to get into, you really shouldn't be putting that much pressure on your thumb to begin with. But either way, I think even with minimal pressure, holding your thumb like this, it just makes it so easy to build up tension. Like, you're building up tension there, you have this going on, this is where I really hurt myself, like this area here. So yeah, making this change right here, that's been huge. And this is where I kind of want to talk about what your thumb should actually be doing while you're playing. And this is something that I've become much more cognizant of as I've been, you know, thinking about thumb. I'm holding my thumb in line with like my middle finger, let's say. And no matter what string I'm playing, my thumb and finger that's being played is going to look the same. So it's always going to look like this. So if I'm playing the sixth string, I'm there. And if I'm playing the first string, my thumb lifts just as my finger lifts. And then I play that string. It always looks the same. This is the motion, and then that's how I change strings. So basically, for every string that I play, I want my thumb to move down the neck a little bit. This does a few things. The first thing that this does, it prevents your wrist from bending at a new angle for every string, because if you don't move your thumb, you have to bend your wrist to move your fingers. That's pretty much your only option now. It's either that or move everything. And that's really what moving your thumb is. It's moving your entire hand. It's not just moving your thumb, per se, but you can kind of think of it like that. And when I'm going down, I tend to kind of drag my thumb, and then when I'm going up, because of the angle, I just hop my thumb, sort of like I hop my fingers on the fretboard. And I feel like this isn't really talked about that much. That moment where you're actually changing, let go of any tension that you do have, and it's going to provide some sort of release between the string changes. So it's like pressure on, pressure off, and then it's back on. Now, I'm showing this in scales, but I'm trying to implement it for like everything. So you can see like when I play the fugue. I'm really thinking about lifting, and I do find a lot of relaxation in moving the thumb and keeping it just with my hand. I've also been experimenting a bit with how I'm actually holding the guitar, and this is to relieve my thumb. Because before, I think I was focusing a lot on putting equal weight into my thumb that I was with my finger, and that way the guitar wouldn't like move around. But I'm finding now that as long as the guitar is secure and like against my chest, pressed on like both pecs, and I think violinists and pianists think of it as like gravity. But I think it's that idea, letting your arm sort of push against the string a little bit. And it takes some of the pressure off of the thumb. But now this only works if the guitar is actually secure. So if the guitar isn't secure, pushing it that way is going to make the guitar move. And it's going to make it a lot harder to play. So those are my main findings right now. And with all that, I've been practicing like, I don't know, like 9 or 10 sessions a week, averaging like an hour each. So maybe like 8 to 10 hours a week, which is still playing. That's not taking a break from playing. It's not as much as usual. Like 15 hours is probably what you should be doing, at least. You know, I can be kind of a lazy POS sometimes. But yeah, I found that all that was enough to sort of relieve my thumb. And I'm actually noticing now that my thumb is healed. I sort of feel myself wanting to revert back to my old ways, just because it is like easier. I sort of have those neural pathways set up already from years and years of doing that. So I really have to fight not going back to it. I'm going to be focusing on that today too during this practice session. But yeah, I don't know. That's some stuff. I do believe that what I'm doing there is for the most part pretty sustainable. If you are having like thumb issues, maybe take a look at some of that stuff that I just said. I mean, all in all, I'm really just trying to treat the thumb as if it's another finger. And like, why does my thumb need to be hyperextended when my other fingers aren't? I don't think it should be. It seems kind of obvious now. I think ideally the thumb should probably just mirror what the middle finger is doing. I just think structurally this is a pretty good positioning right here versus that, right? Even just doing that. I mean, try that and like relax your hand versus doing that and relax your hand. There's just all this, like I feel this muscle tensing up right here, and there's just tension all over the place. Yeah, scale practice, really important for that. Move your thumb for every single string. Really, every string should have a new thumb position. Just like, of course, like every string has a new position that your fingers go, because it has to. You have to move to the string. Your thumb should also move with every string. With every chord change, everything, the thumb should never be stationary when the fingers are moving. So that's the big takeaway from that. All right, cool. Well, I'm sweating. It's really freaking hot. So I'm going to put you in the usual spot, and then I'm going to go practice. We'll see if my hair dries by the time this is over. I have a feeling it won't be. Hopefully my laptop is okay. I'm glad I don't have a nice guitar, because it's pretty humid. All right, so this is separate. I'm just talking with you guys now. My condenser microphones, none of them work. Like the large diaphragm, I haven't checked the pencil ones yet, but none of my large diaphragms work. It is like the middle of a hurricane. I do have dehumidifiers like running in my apartment, and I do have a little AC, but it's like 80 degrees. Is that a thing? Do like large diaphragms stop working when it's like at a certain humidity level? Because I feel like I've sort of noticed that. It's happening with two at the same time. Two microphones that I know work, they tend to stop working when it gets too humid. What's your experience with that? It seems like the dynamic mic is working fine. It kind of makes me want to get like a really nice dynamic mic and just use that if it's going to be more reliable, especially like if I live in a humid place, which I do. Hopefully my computers are okay. I feel like my computers would be more fragile than a microphone, so I'm glad that they're still working. It'd be a nightmare if they broke. I gave you some thumb advice. Can you guys give me some advice on tech? Like what's going on there? That would be helpful. All right, well, I will put you back into the usual spot and we'll start practicing. My life sucks right now. Oh, it's getting hot in here, y'all. I couldn't imagine what the other people who don't have their own portable AC units are going through. That's gotta be insane. What's gonna happen to their guitars? Oh my god. Anyways. Oh, I need my sleeve. Sleeve acquired. Alright, it's time to get to practicing. Alright, I will see you on the other side. Okay, I think I'm done. I know it hasn't been that long. It's been like an okay amount of time. Like an hour. That's a practice session. I'm gonna play for you now. It's really hot. I'm really hot, guys. Let me bring you closer. Hey, you know what? Because it is so hot, how about I shred for you? I'm gonna play Morel Sonatina Movement 3. Feel free to disagree, but I feel like every time I play it, I like add something, and it just feels a little tighter. Alright, well, here we go. I had a couple of blunders in there, but that's okay. All in all, that came out pretty well. Just work out that one or two blunder spots where I like had to stop and restart. I feel like that can be fixed somehow. That just takes experience. I feel like I've never been able to play arpeggios as easily as I just did there. So I feel like I'm really taking to like those IMI and MAM arpeggios. So this piece is really helpful for that because you have to switch a lot between IMI, MAM. So yeah, that's good. You know, there's some sloppiness, of course. We're working that stuff out. Give it another year. I think for like as long as I've been working on it, sounded pretty, it's all right. Pretty good, right? It's so hot. I'm just gonna drink a bunch of sparkling water and try to cool off and turn my computer off so it doesn't get like humidity damage or anything. I don't know if that's a thing. It might be. Like, it's not that humid. Like, I have a dehumidifier running. And that AC, man, without that AC, I think it would be like 90 degrees in this apartment. Because I think it's fighting for its life right now just to keep it at 79 degrees here. It's like a dry 79, thankfully. It's just so hot in all the other rooms. I think it's just seeping into here. And that AC is just fighting it off as best it can. We're struggling over here, guys. I'm down to my instrument microphone. It's rough out here. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up, shall we? Hey, well, you know, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Hey, want a Sore Hands t-shirt? That's what it looks like right there. You can have one yourself. And of course the ore bug. Get all the colors. They're there. They're there. Don't worry. You can get them all. What else we got? Hey, want some guitar lessons? Of course. Instead of paying for a shirt, you can pay for a guitar lesson. But if you already feel good enough at guitar already, use the money for a shirt. That's fine too. What else we got? Comment questions. Feel free to leave them. I'll answer them at some point. You guys have asked a lot about my thumb, so you know, this is just kind of an update on that and stuff to think about. Hopefully you can take that to your practice. All right, well, anything else before we go? I think we're all good. I'll see you tomorrow.